everyone, it is 1st of February 2020 and I'm here today for my January 2020 Flosstube update. What I did last month, and I did a lot. I've just had a look and I have stitched every day in January, so that's a good start to the year. So we'll just run through these, not quite chronological order. Couple of starts to show you and a finish to show you, just a small one, nothing to get excited about, but it's really good. And some progress, and then some plans. But I'll probably cover the plans as I go. There's nothing too exciting. I don't know. So on the 2nd of January, I got back to Eternal Promise. This is my focus for the year. In my whip parade thing that I did at the end of last year, I showed you the whole thing. We're now on the quantum harmonic bars. So this is page, this one, I did this page, which was page 47, finished it, got Aragon's shoe in, bottom of his cloak there. We're just starting to see the forest floor with all its flowers of confetti. That's probably a lot of the next row of pages will be that sort of thing. So I started on to page 48. I got all that done in my 2 weeks. In total that was 6,620 stitches, counted manually because this is a paper pattern, unfortunately, so no putting it into Pattern Keeper and having that keep track. I stitched, so for this, I'm using this for the 20 in 20, which is the aim is to stitch 20,000 stitches in 2020 on one piece for Full Coverage Fanatics group on Facebook. So 6,620 stitches of the way there. And also in the same group, I've been using it for Tier 1 parks, Acadia and Arches in the National Parks stitch along. So you need 4,000 for each. So I finished Arcadia and got 2,600 stitches in for Arches. So February I'll be finishing off Arches. We're actually starting today. I'll be working on finishing off Arches and starting on another, and I can't remember which one it is because I'm out of sync with them because of other sewings. So I think once I get onto the next one I will have something in progress for all of those packs in Tier 1. So on the way to finishing that one. There we have it. There we go. Once if I can, I'd like to get page 48 finished and 49 done. This rotation, and then it's all the way back here, page 50. And for this one, there's one row of full-size pages. This is a large format, so it's slightly smaller, but it's still a full page. And then there's about 30 stitches of a page below that. So I'm going to work the page and the page below together, hopefully get both pages done in each rotation, and then that won't take me too long to get a finish. That's the plan for this year, finish. Really gonna have this one finished and done, and try so hard not to start something else to replace it, because the rotation will be flipped around afterwards, and once I'm done I'll go into the details of that, but we're going to have a bit more variety. So for now, after Eternal Promise, I went on to Just Be, these glasses, and on this one I stitched 4,477 stitches, so that was all of Badlands in the National Parks stitch along for the Full Coverage Fanatics group. So on that page 11, I already had a good start on page 11, so it was filling in his sunglasses, frames coming down where I was finishing off threads, and after I got that done I started on page 12, which I'd already started on, so I continued page 12 and fiddly bead done, and the star that's hanging from his sunglasses. So obviously just a bit more to fill in there. This one is just 4 rows of pages. Again, I'm doing these on the large format pages. So I think it's the 4th row of set of pages. They're partials. I think they're quite full partials. So I'm just going to work this. I'm not going to do the same as Eternal Promise. I'm just going to go across the page. There's a lot of background. There's kind of shadowy background cats also wearing glasses in the background on this page. I don't know how much of that I'll be able to pick up. So using Passing Keeper for this one, which is where I've gone so far into the bottom. I like it. And the other good thing about it is you can see when you've finished with a colour completely. And I think I finished with about 3 colours now. It's because of the definite colours. There's like the dark colours in the sunglasses, and the rest of him's like reddy browns. So I've got thousands of these background colour stitches to do in the background colours, but it is quite nice to see a colour or two just finally tick to 0, and know that if I've just used a thread up I don't need to cut anymore. So I might save on thread. So that's Just Be, also from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artist is Jeff Haney, has lots of really good caps. Stitching it on 25 count, easy count. Eternal Promise is on 25 count Magic Guide, which is the red lines, easy count. That's why I got fabric. The grey lines, and marked 10 by 10 instead of 20 by 20. So that is Just Be. So that was week 3 of my rotation. And week 4, just finished, no, for last, you'll see why in a minute. Stitching time. So this one plan is to bring this one out every week for the last week of the month. I'll go from this on to Eternal Promise, so lots of brighter colours. Eternal Promise is quite dull in the colours, so it's nice to have something bright. So I am on page 46, and this is one of the winter shelves. We have, it actually includes this shelf up here. I was happily stitching away. I've got no grid. Happily stitching away, and then noticed that I've somehow miscounted and I'm one stitch out, and I had to pull out quite a lot of stitches, over 100 stitches, and then restitch them in the right place. And this is on 28 count Monaco. It's not fun, but it's done. Kitty Cat has some more stitches in his feet. There are leaves. I've started a branch. There is, you can just make out, hopefully it'll be clear once I've filled in completely around it. Snowflake there. Confetti candle, candelabra there. And we've got a space pin for the clock. So, how many stitches did I do on this? 2,884 stitches. So this is a regular format it's the regular format pattern with the regular number of colours, and it's the standard page format, regular page format, not large. So there's a lot more stitches in a page. So 2 and a bit weeks I reckon to get the page finished. This one is assigned to Carlsbad Cavern in the National Parks, stitched on. So not a huge amount of progress. It's not a lot to see really, because it's books making up the background. So once, well, it's brunch, it's how exciting. Get to the clock and then onto the fireplace. I think come down to about here maybe for the page. So it'll come back out next month. Just Be isn't out next month. Next month is Trick or Treat. So we'll be doing that. So that's everything on the frames. Just reach across. I had a New Year, New Start, which focus, which I actually started on New Year's Eve because I'd finished rotations, reached goals, didn't know what to do, so I had a new start. It meant I could stitch into the new year. So got a little bit of done. So this is new for me. This is Faces of Fairy and it's number 185. She's the red ninja dragon one. I think that's how it's described. There's not a lot to see at the moment. After New Year's Day I have mostly been working on her if I sat on the sofa. She is on 18 count, go the other way, 18 count Ada, and I'm actually stitching her with 2 strands of floss and getting on okay with that, except for there's some Krynic, but I'm using Petite Treasure braid, and that I'm just using 1 strand because 2 strands would be ridiculous. So, Face of Fairy, I have stitched 3,430 stitches, mostly working on her on Fridays. She's on a Q-snap, so it's harder for me to work with her with 2 hands until I get some kind of stand set up. I just could not get comfortable with the Lowry for some reason. And there we go, that's my start. I think that's arm. It's a sword, it's like a little flare on there, and that's her hair. Her face is on the next page. So, working through that. And let's have the other start. The other start, my morning stitching. Let's get this one ready over here. There we go. Right. Morning stitching. Before work, I spend about 30 minutes or so putting some stitches in onto something small. This is Shepherd's Bush. I'll try and do something else there. Happy Life pincushion. There we go. It's sheep. And obviously you've got to make it into the pincushion. I have the pins as well, stick into it. So, yay, bottom nearly done, just got to fill in a little bit more of the grass. Got to put the windows in the house and give the sheep some legs and tails. And then moving up and round to do the other bits. So I don't think that'll take that long. It's not overly complicated or involved. It's nice, it's fun. I like it. So this is what I was doing. That's my finish. So, this is lesson 3 of the Summer Schoolhouse series. This is being stitched 1/1 on 28 count mushroom Lugana. And all the colourful colours. and it's, you see it and you think, oh, it's quite small, not hand size, but yeah, one strand. It's a lot of stitching, especially in the house. But it's so sweet. I love it. It's so delicate. Little satin stitch grass. That's the same on all of them. Seem to remember. The pattern includes on the front of the pattern, this bit here, there's the American flag, and inside is the pattern is, there's also a snippet for this, for putting a couple more windows in for those of us who are not in America and want to have windows in our house. So that is done. I have one more lesson to go on this to make up the little, and then I can make up little pillows. So what I stitch in the mornings, I have a wheel on the Tiny Decisions app, and when I span it, it chose New Start. This time there's only one option left on it now, and that is the Sample Houses series, and I'm on the last one of that, so once Happy Life is finished, I'll be finishing off the Sample House series, and then I get to reset the wheel and I'll be finished with one of the series. So this one, when this one comes up, it should be, I think I've got some of the extras to stitch though, so it may not be the last time it comes up. I'll see if I want to take a break, but yeah, I'll be ready to make up some more cushions, little pillows. So that's it for me. Briefly went over plans in that. Eternal Promise for 2 weeks, Trick or Treat for a week on a stitching time. It's February. There is a leap year this year, so we have Leap Day, and I'm going to have a new start on Leap Day. At least that's the plan at the moment. It's one of the memorabilia pieces that I got a kit for, and that is Mooka. I'll show you her when I get her started. If I don't start her in February, she's coming out in March. The aim is that she'll be stitched on those extra days in the month. So 2 or 3, depending on the month. So, I will leave it there. Hope you have all had a great start to the stitching year. And I hope you get lots and lots of progress in February. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.